Hi folks, welcome along to the Sweet Spot. It's the Racing Post's weekly golf show with me, Bruce Millington, and him, Steve Palmer, looking ahead to two tournaments. But first of all, of course, looking back to a momentous week. I mean, Phil Mickelson winning the US PGA was absolutely sensational. It really, really was. He tamed Kiowa Island. He was engulfed with a sea of fans as he walked up 18. It was one of the greatest things ever, Steve, wasn't it?
It was a fantastic fortnight for the betting neutrals, wasn't it? I mean, obviously the Richard Bland at 48 winning his first European Tour event, quickly followed by Phil Mickelson winning a major at 50. Yeah, I mean, the old romantics like you and I been in pieces for a fortnight, and it transcended betting, didn't it?
It certainly did. And funny enough, the Richard Bland one really did get me. I mean, I was choked up, and I must admit there was the odd tear rolling down my throat. With Phil, I didn't really feel that. I just felt an incredible feeling of happiness. It just made me happy. Not, like I say, it wasn't emotional or anything. I was just delighted. It was just joyous. It brought me joy.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to see the fans back, wasn't it? We've had a couple of majors with no fans. To see, it reminded you of East Lake with Tiger Woods charging up with the crowd behind him. I mean, there was a little bit of betting that just sort of affected my pleasure tiny, because obviously we were on Mickelson for the Masters, weren't we, a month ago?
Yeah, you predicted he'd win a major this year, but it's the wrong one. That was clever.
Yeah, we backed him at 360 for the Masters. Because I thought he had one last hurrah left in him, and there was quite a lot of Mickelson mockers out there after that one. I had to deal with a lot of Mickelson mockers, but I thought he had one last hurrah, but I didn't expect it to come at Kiowa. I thought it could come at Augusta. Just came slightly too early as per usual. Reminding me of Tiger Woods. Everything reminds me of Tiger Woods. The 2018 Open Championship, the biggest bet I've ever had, well documented. Tiger Woods didn't manage to win that, and then he won the Masters a few months later. So, I just keep getting a little bit too early with the last hurrahs. Needs to be a bit more patient.
I remember I had an impudent grin on my face when you tipped Mickelson, but who's laughing now? No, that was very prescient of you, mate. But no, it was marvellous, wasn't it? I mean, he played so well. I just expected him to keep blowing up, but he just kept pulling it out, and he didn't shrink or try and plot his way around the course. He doesn't, does he? That's not how he operates. But it was just fantastic, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Since
the Masters, it was a couple of performances since the Masters which were off-putting. He tied 21st at the Masters, which was okay, but he missed the cut in the Valspar, and he dropped from the front in the Wells Fargo and finished 69th. So, and he was very downbeat in his interviews. I've been watching a lot of Phil Mickelson interviews. It was the reason I really fancied him for the Masters. It was because he was so positive about his game. He said he had control of his driver. Mickelson starts driving well. You've got to take notice. Normally so erratic off the tee, but he had control of his driver. And then he, in the Valspar, he missed the cut. Wells Fargo went to pieces over the final 3 days. And there was one interview I saw where he just hardly said anything, which was very unlike Phil. He just looked crestfallen and said, I just can't concentrate on him anymore. I'm struggling with that. But he seemed to have found something on the concentration. I think, there was some sort of, mind tricks that triggered, enormous concentration. He slowed everything down. Did you see him sort of chewing the gum, breathing? Yeah, he's obviously gone a bit spiritual, found a way to keep the concentration and got the job done. And I think very fortunate that all the big guns flopped, really. The two main challengers that came his way both had issues of their own, didn't they? Brooks Koepka, clearly not 100% fit.
But putting like an elephant as well, wasn't he?
And putting like an elephant. I mean, Koepka had many issues to deal with. And then Louis Oosthuizen never won a tournament in the States. What's that, 4 runner-up finishes in stateside majors now. So he had psychological hurdles and couldn't quite get over the line there. So I think, Mickelson was fortunate that none of an informal elite big gun wasn't alongside him, because he didn't do much special on Sunday, did he? He shot 73. Koepka shot 74. Oosthuizen shot 73. So they were all struggling, but Mickelson had that buffer.
Absolutely. And those talking about having some fun out there, we often talk about partnerships or pairings where they might have some fun out there, but Harrington and Lowry, they had some fun out there, and they came storming through to take a share of 4th, didn't they, with our old mate Harry Higgs. I mean, great performance that by Pod, wasn't it? If you look at the prices there, I'm just looking at this lovely panel you did in the Racing Post today. So Mickelson wins it at 250. Oosthuizen is second at 66. And then you've got Koepka at 45, Harrington at 500, Lowry at 80, Higgs at 500. I mean, the big guns are nowhere to be seen. Big Johnny Rom got a tiny little share of 8th. But they, as you say, they all flopped, didn't they? There's some questions to be answered there, isn't there?
Absolutely. But the thing with Harrington, I mean, he was 400, 500 to 1, but he was one of only 2 course winners in the field. You had Rory McIlroy and Padraig Harrington. That World Cup we mentioned at Kiowa Island, he won that alongside Paul McGinley, and Harrington was in his element, wasn't he? And, you know, all these Ryder Cup stars that are supposed to be trying to impress him, he's finished above all of them. But yeah, I think Larry did himself a good turn there. I think his Ryder Cup chances are massively increased there. I was hoping that Grace and Bezuidenhout might have a similar combination going in the final round. You know, the two South Africans together, but Grace obviously went from 5th place to just, you know, so he started with 6 pars and then disappeared. There was a lot of excitement around the Brandon Grace wager. I bumped into some people at a public house on Saturday, and one of them was talking about that. On Saturday afternoon, everyone was hoping they're going to get their Brandon Grace each way returns, you know, myself included. And
oh, you got spotted, didn't you? Did you get spotted?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, a rare Saturday afternoon at a public house. I was entertaining the wife's best friend's boyfriend, and then on another table, this chap who looked very much like Daniel Craig, actually, the James Bond actor.
You don't need to explain who Daniel Craig is. I mean,
sorry, I don't.
Oh, he looked very much like Prince Charles, the Queen's son. I know who Daniel Craig is.
Well, he just shouts over Steve. I didn't know who he was. So I bowled over there, and then a bouncer was getting angry at me because I broke the protocol. You know, you're not supposed to say. Yeah, I could see it was going on. But I just had a little brief chat with him about Brandon Grace, and he wanted to know about the Tiger Woods bet details. It was touching, but I felt extra pressure then because I felt like everyone was on Brandon Grace, and then obviously he flopped. But we got a couple in the each way just.
Yeah, we did. More importantly, though, did you saunter back to the wife's best friend's boyfriend? Just just a couple of fans who watch my show, my weekly show, The Sweet Spot. I hope you did that.
No, he did because he had a friend who bets as well. So he texted a picture of me to his friend, and then his friend texted back all about Brandon Grace. So Sean Lorden, his name was. So Sean Lorden. Then this fella couldn't really believe that people knew who I was. He was quite excited by that. So,
oh wow! Excellent.
Yeah, I said I'd give Sean Lorden a shout out. So there it is.
Fantastic, excellent stuff. Now, talking of interviews, we talked about Phil not so much in an interview before the USPGA, but did you see that clip that's emerged overnight with Koepka ragging DeChambeau? Blimey, there's some beef there, isn't there? That was excellent.
Yeah, they hate each other, don't they? I mean, I think there's been a lot of rumours about what DeChambeau was saying. I don't think any of them are true. I don't think he actually said anything. It was more like the hustle and bustle of walking past so loudly, wasn't it? You know,
well, no, someone said that it was because DeChambeau still wears metal spikes, and he was sort of, you know, he was walking along like a tap dance, making a right old cacophony, wasn't he? And I think Koepka kind of took umbrage to that and just thought, why are you still wearing spikes? But who knows? I mean, but anyway.
DeChambeau was very noisy.
They won't be on the same team on the Ryder Cup, will they? That's for sure.
No. But I don't think who would want to partner Koepka though. He is such a surly bugger, isn't he? I mean, if you're a journalist, I mean, I watch all these media conferences to try and pick up clues. I watch as many as I can. The Koepka ones are always about like 20 minutes shorter than say a Jordan Spieth one or someone who's a bit more amiable. Because Koepka just doesn't say anything.
Really?
He's so miserable. Any question that comes his way, just. Whatever.
Oh, really?
He's such an arrogant.
Are you team Bryson on this one then?
I think I am team Bryson. Yeah, I mean, perhaps he should have walked a little bit quieter. I mean, he was yapping away to his caddy. It was a bit disrespectful, but I just think Koepka, any excuse for Koepka to throw the toys out the pram these days. I mean, he's pathetic. Wouldn't say it to his face.
That makes it all the sweeter that Phil tamed him. Then that's good. Excellent.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it was a joyous tournament in many ways.
It really was. It was absolutely lovely. I'm just going back to the crowds. While it was lovely to have them, I'm not sure that we needed all those mobile phone videos of every shot that everybody played. Did you see they've gone to Kiowa Island to watch the golf, and they're spending the whole time going like that? Just, you know, imagine going to work on a Monday morning and someone comes up and like, I don't know, what are they called, Americans? Hank comes over to you from accounts and he sort of says, hey, I was at Kiowa Island, Jesse. Look, this is a shot of Phil, you know, on the 15th or something. You'd be sort of, oh, wow, yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? But there must have been loads of incidents like that, mustn't there? Because, there's just so much footage, wasn't there? Just watch the golf.
That's the modern world now, isn't it? People go to gigs. I mean, in my day, during the war, in my day, when you go to gigs, you'd enjoy the moment. You know, you're all tanked up and dancing and singing, and now they just stand there recording it, and then you can go on YouTube and watch the same video that someone else has done. I mean, just live for the moment. I really try and get this into my children. Live for the moment, because they're already on the. Grace is like 5 years old, already obsessed with smartphones, recording things and that. Live for the moment, guys. If I was there, I wouldn't be filming anything. I've been to Loads
What's
of
the best
Open
gig you've ever been
to? Oasis at Wembley, Manic Street Preachers at Brighton Centre. I didn't go to see them though. I went to see Hope of the States, who was one of the best bands ever, on the undercard. So Hope of the States were on. That was awesome. And then when the Manic Street Preachers came on, which was the headline act, we swaggered out. Not interested.
No way. That's a missed
I
opportunity.
had some swagger in those days.
Anyway, we digress.
Lost it all now. I just wander around. Yeah, I can hardly move these days. It's all that swagger. I can hardly move. So much gout in my foot.
Have you got gout?
Mm.
You've been officially diagnosed with gout?
Yeah, my left foot is riddled with gout. So, no swaggering for me. But, don't worry. That doesn't affect my golf tipping ability.
Okay. All done on the USPGA or any other postscripts?
I think we've got to give Will Zalatoris a shout. We can't go a podcast without mentioning Will Zalatoris. Battled well to get 8th place. The fine young man will come on to Justin Rose because he's one of my selections this week. Ricky Fowler, big boost for Ricky Fowler fans. 8th place on a tough major track. He's been going through swing changes. That's a big leap forward for him. Then we can move on to this week's action. I quite like look at these week's tournaments.
Okay, so we got one in Europe and we got one in America. Where do you want to start, Europe or America?
I'd like to go to Europe, actually. I do like this tournament a lot. I've got 5 selections for this one.
Okay, well, we're in Denmark for the Made in Himmerland. That's all it's called, Made in Himmerland. That's all I know. Tell me more.
Himmerland, which is in Farsø, Denmark. Yeah, Himmerland has hosted this event from 2014 to 2017. Then again in 2019, we had a Challenge Tour event in 2018. Plenty of rain in the build-up this year. I think the track is going to be overwhelmed by a big hitter again. The last 3 winners at Himmerland, Thomas Pieters, Julian Suri and Bernd Wiesberger, all big boys blessed with plenty of tool.
Okay, let's have a look at the betting then. Robert McIntyre, I think most people like to sort of think that they're in with people by calling him Bob McIntyre. Should we switch to Bob now, or is it still Robert?
No, I'm still calling him Robert. He's not a personal friend of mine yet.
Okay, mate. 12-1 Robert McIntyre. He heads the betting, and then we've got Wiesberger at 20, Schwab at 25. Wouldn't it be funny if Schwab won in Europe when there's the Charles Schwab in America?
I think I'd laugh for about 10 days.
Okay. Andy Sullivan's 25s, Ollison 28s, Rasmus HOJGAARD is 28s, and it's 30-1 bar. Did you say 645 yard par 5?
Yeah, on a course measuring 6,751 yards. So you got one massive hole and then 17 tiddlers.
That's literally a par 8 for me.
Yeah, you'd struggle, wouldn't you? Especially
we're playing on Monday, aren't we?
Are we playing on Monday? Oh, here we are. I better buy some balls. Yeah. No, I haven't forgotten. No, I purchased some balls then. You can't play golf without any balls, can you?
No, absolutely not. Oh, you get those ridiculously expensive ones, don't you? What are they called?
I do, because I play so little golf. When I do play, I want to give myself the best chance. So I get some tailor-made TP5s with the little markings on. Ricky Fowler uses them. Ricky Fowler's the ambassador for them, so... Yeah.
Righty-ho. 5 selections in, Steve. Who's the main man?
The main man is Julian Suri, one of the aforementioned big boys. They don't come much bigger than Julian Suri. Injury and illness has slowed down his career. He actually had a hernia surgery at the end of 2018. He drifted from well inside the world's top 100 to outside the top 500. But his last 2 tournaments have been encouraging. 27th in the Canary Islands Championship, 21st in the British Masters. Suri may be sneaking back into a bit of form. And surely no better place to build on that than at Himmerland, because Himmerland is where Suri became a European Tour champion in 2017. Didn't just win the tournament, romped to a 4-shot victory, final round 64. Didn't have a European Tour card at the time. Went into that tournament off the back of winning on the Challenge Tour. So it was his Himmerland debut and shot 19 under par. Suri's 100-1 this week. He's still only 30 years of age. Plenty of time for him to make a big impact in the game of golf.
Lovely stuff. A nice big price one to start off with. And then the next best?
Next best is Laurie Canter. Made serious post-lockdown waves on European Tour last year. 5th in the Wales Open, 2nd in the Portugal Masters, 2nd in the Italian Open, 5th in the World Tour Championship, 4th in the Dubai Desert Classic. He's had a month and a half off after the Qatar Masters, which seems to sort of stall his progress, smother him in rust. Since his return, his form figures are 48, 40, 30. So, Canter is very much cantering, picking up
speed.
Smothered him in rust. Yeah, imagine a horse smothered in rust. Canter was slowly cantering at the moment, but I feel like he's picking up speed. He getting better every week. I think Denmark is where he finds the gallop again. He finished 34th on his Himmerland debut when he was outside the world's top 1,000. He was 60th on his next visit when still outside the top 600. Now he returns as world number 130. So I think a CANTER maiden victory entirely feasible on Sunday.
Okie dokes. I remember, Steve, by the talking of CANTER, Sky used to have an equestrian show. It was like a sort of magazine program, and it had a brilliant title, and I just loved I've loved to think of myself in the brainstorming meeting in that, and just waiting until someone came up with the moment, and someone said, "What about CANTER Banter?" And that's what they called it.
They called it that, did they?
They called it CANTER Banter. Yeah.
What a brilliant show! Yeah. Well, we can have some of that on Monday, can't we?
Let's hope so. We've got Suri as the main selection. We've got Laurie Cantor, who's around about 35 to 1, and then who else have you got?
Third of 5 is Callum Hill. 3 more maidens in the staking plan. Hill has been strongly threatening a breakthrough this year. 4th in the Saudi International, 8th in the Kenya Open, 3rd in the Savannah Classic, 12th in the Canary Islands Championship from the final 3-ball, then 8th in the British Masters last time out. There's been a couple of missed tiddlers here and there, a few wild drives, but he's making so many birdies. I fancy he can contend this week. This is a weak field. He's won 3 times on the Challenge Tour. The final one of them came in Denmark in 2019.
Ooh.
So that's the top 3.
Right.
And then we've got 2 more bigger prices. Nikolai HOJGAARD. There's no way I'm going into a battle in Denmark without a HOJGAARD brother by my side. I think Rasmus may be too frazzled. He's been doing a lot of jet setting back and forth over the Atlantic. Nikolai settled on the European Tour, swinging superbly. 7th place in the Austrian Open, was followed by 15th in Gran Canaria. Last time out, 4th in the Canary Islands Championship. HOJGAARD has won a Nordic League event in Denmark. In 2018, I think he can, he challenged.
That sounds like athletics.
It's one of those grades below the Challenge Tour, feeder tour. But yeah, he's won in his homeland at that level. I think he can do it on the European Tour.
Hang on a second, Richard. We just need to stress there's 2 HOJGAARDs in the field, folks. You want N HOJGAARD. So if you're scrolling down, you'll come to R HOJGAARD first. You don't want to back him. You want to back N HOJGAARD. You know what will happen now, don't you, Steve?
Well, yeah, I suppose it's feasible, but I know it's feasible that Rasmus could win, but he really has been jet setting, and in the current climate, as you well know, that is a lot more testing. Yeah, there's a lot of rigmarole with that, isn't it?
Literally more testing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that's our top 4, and then we've got one more at an enormous price, 500 to 1 with Ladbrokes and Coral, 300 to 1, 300 to 1 generally. Woof woof! It's Lassie Jensen. Let's go save the punters, Lassie. Let's go save the punters. This particular Lassie is not a collie, not a rough collie. It's a Great Dane. It's a 36-year-old Copenhagen man. He's won twice on the aforementioned Nordic Golf League. The latest of those wins came in October in Sweden. Over the last 8 months, he's been brilliant on the Nordic Golf League. He finished 2nd in the Race to Himmerland event in October. 1 round in that event is played on the course we've got this week, and Lasse Jensen shot 64 in that round. His last 2 events in the Nordic Golf League, he's finished 3rd, and this is not a player who's never played on the European Tour. He used to be a European Tour contender. He was runner-up in the 2016 Nordea Masters, 3rd in the 2017 Dubai Desert Classic, 4th in the 2017 Hassan Trophy, and probably the most important bit of form, 7th in the 2014 Made in Denmark at Himmerland.
Wow.
His career stalled a bit, and he actually got into a different game. He's into the stock markets, buy, sell. But over the last year or so, he's got his golf game back in shape, and I can see him enjoying himself this week. I think it's a pressure-free gig for Lasse Jensen because, as I say, he's got all these other business interests going on. The first prize in Himmerland won't intimidate him. 500 to 1.
I loved Lassie, didn't you? She was so clever, wasn't she? Absolutely. And she was a rough collie. I didn't realise. I've just looked it up.
A rough collie, yeah. I used to enjoy Lassie a lot. Such a wholesome show, wasn't it? Don't get me.
Can you just summarise it for maybe our younger sweet spot viewers who don't remember Lassie?
Yeah, beautiful collie, very hairy dog.
With a nice long sort of beautiful kind of beak, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and just a heroic dog. The little lad and Lassie used to go out and save people generally, wasn't it?
Basically, someone had kind of slipped down a railway embankment and kind of have a broken ankle on the line, and Lassie would kind of grab him by the scruff of the neck and drag him from the oncoming locomotive. It was stuff like that, wasn't it? Basically.
Yeah. They don't make
or
them
like another
that.
dog had fallen down a well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, an incredibly strong, savvy. You talk about greyhounds having ring craft. I mean, Lassie's. Lassie had an amazing amount of ring craft.
It's track craft, I think. Isn't it?
I thought I got that. I said it and thought boxers, aren't they?
It's boxers that have ring craft. Greyhounds have track craft.
That's
okay.
It. Remember One for the greyhound fans. You remember Notebook? Amazing.
Yes,
my favourite dog. Yeah, that had the most track craft you'll ever see in a dog.
Absolutely. We should talk about McIntyre, shouldn't we? Because there was quite an interesting quote from him for anyone who wants to back the favourite. I think he said he just wants to go home, but he said we're off to Denmark instead. So I think he's sort of playing begrudgingly. But you can read too much into those sometimes, Steve, can't you? Now he's out there, I suppose he could put in a good round. I mean, he's a hell of a talented player, isn't he? But
there was a lot of toys being thrown out the pram last week, wasn't there? John Rahm saying he didn't want to be there. He wanted to be.
He was pathetic, by the way, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he smashed a microphone. He smashed a tee marker. I mean, what's he playing at?
He's not. He doesn't like the lack of sleep, does he? He's just become a father. He can't handle it. He's thrown himself into that. It's affecting his golf game. I know what he's going through. It's not easy spinning all the plates. When you become a new dad, you've got your job of work continues while you've got all these extra responsibilities. I know what he's going through, but it's a lot easier for him than it is for others. And I think he's been a bit. I'll say it again. I've started on Brooks Koepka. I'll start on John Rahm. You're pathetic, mate. You're pathetic.
I'm not sure about that, but I do think he needs to meet a guru to calm him down, doesn't he? Because he's so hot-headed. It's not doing his game anymore. Any good, rather. But what has McIntyre been throwing the toys out the pram? Is that what you're saying?
I just thought it was a bit, much less significant. I just thought saying, we're off to Denmark, as if it's, I'd love to be going to Denmark to try and win, I don't know, 300,000 euros or whatever it is.
Yeah, I bet the chief executive of Himmerland PLC is not too happy to hear that, is he? So, you want your favourite to be up for it, don't you?
It's absolutely, yeah. No, I think McIntyre's a too short price again. I don't want to be on his side this week.
Should we torture ourselves with last name off the shortlist?
JB Hansen's a course winner. He won that Challenge Tour event, but I'm not a huge JB Hansen fan. JB Hansen and Jason Scrivener. Scrivener played astonishingly well last week, really, for 23rd place in USPGA. But do you want to be backing players that have been jetting over from that? 4 rounds on that tough golf course. Not much, there's not much spunk left, I'd imagine.
Then again, this will be a piece of cake, won't it, compared to the
there is that
traumas of Kiowa Island. Right, let's move across to America, Steve, where we've got the Charles Schwab Challenge. It's a decent field. Here are the leading contenders. Jordan Spieth 10-1, Justin Thomas 12-1, Colin Morikawa 14s, Daniel Berger 20s, Abraham ANCER 20s, Finau 22, Reed 22, Scheffler 25, Zalatoris 25, and a few others on there as well. So decent field. Shop around for best prices and best place terms. So really good field, Steve. Whereabouts in the States are they?
We're in the Lone Star State. We're in Texas. We're at Colonial Country Club, 7,209 yards, par 70, classic old track. Tight tree line, loads of dog legs, only 2 par 5s. Bit like Himmerland. One of them's enormous, 635 yard, one of those par 5s. That's a 3-shotter for most of them. So straight hitting, sharp short games are the key. And if you look at the recent roll of honour, the last 6 winners, Chris Kirk, Jordan Spieth, Kevin Kisner, Justin Rose, Kevin Na, Daniel Berger, they all roll their rock well. Short game artists can thrive at Colonial. Very small greens.
Is that a euphemism for good putting? Roll their rock.
Roll their rock. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, roll their rock. Yeah, your ball's your rock. Yeah, sorry.
That's right.
So if you look at that, I mean, Justin Rose might be the one you say, but Justin Rose has become a fantastic putter in the last few years. So he fits the theme as well. So you want short game artists on your side.
Rightio. How many selections?
3.
Okay, I suspect Rose is going to feature among those. Let's find where he is in your pecking order.
Okay, I'll start pecking away, and the first one is Patrick Reed.
You snorted there like a pig.
You can peck the same.
You acted like a chicken and sounded like a pig.
Some people make that noise when they stop laughing, and they go right at the end. They go.
They do, yeah.
People like that. Yeah, I like people like that. But anyway, Patrick Reed. Sorry, this is so unprofessional.
This tip is not to be snorted at. Tell us why.
He's one of the best short game artists in the world. I mean, his scrambling ability is incredible. He was born in Texas. He lives in Texas. He dipped in and out of the Colonial Country Club through the years. Never been a regular starter in this event. But he played last year and he finished 7th. And last year, was the strongest edition of this event we've ever had. It was the first one post-lockdown. You must remember the excitement around this tournament last year. Daniel Berger beat Colin Morikawa in the playoff. We hadn't had any golf for months.
I just don't. My memory's just rubbish these days, mate. Honestly, I just don't remember it.
Befuddled by the pandemic and everything was a bit edgy, but we were so pleased to have golf back, and they all turned up for it. You had Morikawa, as mentioned, DeChambeau, Schauffele, Thomas, Spieth, Hovland, Koepka, McIlroy, Johnson, Rahm. It felt like a major. It was the 7th best graded event on the PGA Tour last year, and Reed finished 7th. So the point is, he hasn't played it much, but when it was the best Colonial ever, he finished 7th. He was only 2 shots outside of the playoff. Since then, Reed's won the Farmers Insurance Open by 5 shots. More recently, he's finished 8th in the Masters, 6th in the Wells Fargo. And last week, he squeezed through the weekend. He was slow out the gates, and he carded rounds of 69 and 70 for 17th place. Patrick Reed outscored everyone over the weekend in the USPGA. I think he builds on that form this week on a suitable course. Yeah, I'm all aboard the Patrick Reed train this week.
Lovely stuff. Big Patrick Reed, the main selection. And then who?
Next best is Abraham ANCER, another player who impressed at Keir Island on Sunday. ANCER shot 65 on Sunday, the best round anyone managed all week. 2 shots better than the next best, which was Corey Connors on the Thursday. Sunday 65 at Keir. I mean, get out of town, Abraham. What a finish, and a continuation of rock solid recent form. He was 26th in the Masters, 18th in the Heritage, 5th in the Valspar, 2nd in the Wells Fargo, and then 8th on Sunday in the USPGA. ANCER clearly going to win a maiden PGA Tour title at some stage soon. Colonial, a test of accuracy over power, right up his street. He was born in Texas, lives in San Antonio, and he finished 14th in last year's edition of the Charles Schwab.
Steve, I would love to know if there is a definite correlation between living in and being born in a particular state and doing well there. I mean, have you ever kind of probed it?
I haven't done a thesis, but my instinct from 25 years betting golf is that it does help.
So you're saying that, like, we're playing golf next Monday in Surrey, which is where I live. You're from Dorset. Do you think you'll play worse because we're in my home state?
Yeah, I do. I think you're at a huge advantage. I think I'll have a nosebleed. As soon as I get across the Dorset border, my nose will start spewing blood. No, it's a comfort factor, isn't it? If Robert McIntyre was playing the Oban Open this week, that's just where he
Oban.
If it was the Oban Open, he'd be going back there all excited about it. He'd be talking about sleeping in his own bed. There is something about just being close to home.
I love the idea of the Oban Open. That'd be brilliant.
yeah, speak to Keith Pelly about that one.
Yeah, I will do. Okay, so we've got Patrick Reed. Who else have we got? Abraham ANCER. And then,
final prong in our 3-pronged attack is Justin Rose, the fine young man. We can't desert Rosie. He absolutely buzzing on Sunday. He made 8 birdies on Sunday, threw a little double bogey. We would have got a full each-way return. But, he made 8 birdies. To finish 8th in the USPGA. He's never missed a cut in 7 Colonial starts. He won the event by 3 shots in 2018. He was 3rd last year in that top class renewal I keep banging on about. Only 1 shot outside of the playoffs. So, I think Rose is finding top gear again at the age of 40. I've got 3 solid each-way bets. They're not fancy prices, but, they're not favourites. I mean, there's Jordan Spieth playing, Justin Thomas is playing. It's a working man's staking plan.
Any time anyone backs a winner over 20-1 or bigger, that is a very fancy price. Quick word about the protagonists as far as the market's concerned. Jordan Spieth is favourite. Could he win it? Well, of course he can win it, but what do you think?
He's the hardest to get away from. His last name off the list. He's got a fantastic record here. Former winner, never plays badly at Colonial. I just wonder about that putter. I mean, he's got putting issues. He didn't putt well over the weekend. The USPGA, he's frustrated. He knows it's a technical flaw. If he gets the putter sorted in the time between the tournaments, then he's got to be feared. If you're going to have 4, have Jordan Spieth, but at the price, I could leave him alone.
If Koepka's media interviews are surly and brusque, Spieth's a much nicer experience. He seems like quite a good egg, isn't he?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Did you say brusque? Is that a word? Is it?
Yeah, brusque.
Brusque Brooks, have we?
Yeah, Brusque Brooks.
Brooks, that should be his new nickname, Brusque Brooks. Yeah. Jordan Spieth, you could just chat all day.
You've never heard the word brusque? BRUSQUE.
No, that's a new one for me. No, I like that one. Yeah. Jordan Spieth's the opposite. He just yaps away. There's certain people you just ask a question, they go. I mean, Podrick Harrington's the best one. You have to schedule like 5-hour for his media conference. But yeah, Brooks.
Hang on a sec, I'll get an official definition.
The complete
Brusque definition. Abrupt or offhand in speech or manner.
Oh, it couldn't be more perfect. Yeah, couldn't be more perfect. Yeah, he needs to sort himself out because without the interest, there's no money going into his bank account, is it? It's the fans and the interest. If you play these golf tournaments and they're not on the telly and there's no fans, he's not getting paid $1 million for winning one of them. So, just do your bit, mate. It's not difficult, is it?
No, I agree. Justin Thomas, he's having a curate's egg of a season, isn't he? A lot of rubbish in there, and then pops up with the odd win. So I suppose on that basis, it's dangerous to discount him. But he's playing some pretty shabby golf right now, isn't he?
Yeah, a few wild drives here and there, and the putter just won't behave. So I don't think he's a natural fit for Colonial. Hasn't played it much. No, I can leave him well alone. I'll be Spieth over Thomas all day long here.
Blooming heck, I've just noticed Phil Mickelson's in the field.
No, he's not though, is he? He's
in the field.
No, it's annoying me. I mean, everyone's... It's not been updated, I don't think. I mean, Phil Mickelson's post-round, after winning it, he's in the media conference. He's going, I'm going to have 2 weeks off now and then get ready for the US Open. Because the Phil Mickelson US Open bid is one of the biggest stories ever. He's going to complete the career Grand Slam. He doesn't want to be messing around in the Charles Schwab. But, I don't think it's just not been updated. Unless he's made an amazing reverse decision and decided he wants to go and enjoy all the adulation in Texas. But as far as I know, on the evidence of Mickelson's post-Sunday interview, he's just back at home relaxing with his lovely wife. He said he couldn't wait to get back to his wife and celebrate there, and he's going to have a week off and then go get cracking on the US Open.
Oh, it's a shame she wasn't there. She thought she could have flown out, wouldn't you?
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? You don't know they're going to win. You don't turn up and go and watch him, miss the cut and that. But he didn't want to do what Mrs. Oosthuizen did. Mrs. Oosthuizen did that. I think it puts too much pressure on them when they come roaring out expecting to see you win.
I suppose so. Yeah. Okay, those are Steve's selections. We'd love you to tell us who you fancy. Go down onto the comments section and let us know who your selections are this week. In the meantime, let's recap Steve's. First up, the Made in Himmerland.
The Made in Himmerland. We've got Julian Surrey, Laurie Canter, Callum Hill, Nikolai HOJGAARD, Lassie Jensen.
And in the Charles Schwab Challenge,
Patrick Reed, Abraham ANCER, and Justin Rose.
Excellent stuff. Thanks, Steve. I think we've only got the one tournament next week. We've got the Memorial, so that'll be good.
Are you sure?
Right? Are you querying that?
I wonder, have we not got the Porsche European Open?
Oh, perhaps we have. I don't know. I was going on the running order, but...
We might have the Porsche as well. I'm not sure. We might even have the US Women's Open as well. You might have 3.
Oh, fine.
I might have just multiplied it by 3 there.
Are you off next week?
Yes.
So we won't be seeing you on the show, or are you dipping in? Are you breaking your holiday?
No.
It'll be me and the champ next week, then, won't it?
I think the viewers will be pleased to see the back of me. The way things scraping a few each ways here and there. Yeah, but I'll be back the following week, hopefully refreshed and ready to start firing winners again.
With your tail between your legs after I've humiliated you at Silvermere next week.
Absolutely.
It's unlikely, isn't it? How many shots am I getting?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't played since October, so I mean,
Have you swung the club though?
Who did I say was smothered in rust? I'm smothered.
I'm drowning in rust.
Yeah, I can't see myself playing well. I mean, I'm riddled with gout and smothered in rust. So yeah, I think you should be giving me shots, to be honest.
Okay, mate. Well, I look forward to that. That'll be good. And I look forward to when we're back again on the Sweet Spot. But in the meantime, thanks as always for your support. It's great to have so many people watching, leaving nice comments, always really valued. Thanks very much indeed. We'll see you again on the Sweet Spot very soon.